gateway to the West. A big matchup in Group E in the USL Championship as St. Louis FC plays host to Sporting KC2. A game that maybe a couple of days ago many didn't think would be that important. It's pretty darn important now. It's a 6-pointer with a lot on the line. The winner tonight could have the inside track. Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr here with you. The playoff chase keeps getting bigger and bigger by the match day, and today's match is brought to you by the Cheshire Inn and LHM Hotel. Devin, the standings show that every game is big, and this one doesn't get much bigger.
Almost back at it for a month now. July 11th has treated some teams nicely. The biggest key factor right now is Sporting Kansas City 2, St. Louis FC. Back-to-back for the two of them against the likes of Lou City and Indy 11, and an opportunity to grab even closer to the top of Group E standings.
The playoffs are only going to go to the top two in each group. Tonight's player to watch is brought to you by Dobbs. Let's start with Tyler Blackwood.
Getting back at it, no team affords the luxury now on a 16-game season. You have to find a way to start running downhill, get your playmakers involved. That's exactly what Steve Tritchu is looking to do. How do I get these two together? Well, we're going to mess with the formation. We're going to put Tyler Blackwood and Kyle Gregg up top. Blackwood, 5-1-1 in the last 7, in which he's at the back of the net. And Kyle Gregg, 6th all-time. The guy can score from anywhere on the field.
On the other side of things for Sporting KC2, it is Danny Barbier scored a huge goal to end a long winning streak, or I should say long undefeated streak at home for Indy 11. A massive goal to get Sporting KC2 back in this race.
Young man's got top quality pedigree from the youth level. You're looking at the Union, Manchester City, West Bromwich Albion over in England. And then recently, it's been a little bit back and forth. MLS bounced around in Germany. Now he's found a home with Sporting Kansas City 2. And the magic that we saw in the 70th minute looks to be replicated this evening so they can grab 3 points.
Inside the numbers on Sporting KC2, boy, oh boy. Talk about a drastic difference between scoring first and conceding first, Devin. We had them against Lou City. That first goal really kind of opened things up for them the second time they met, and it went from there in a positive direction.
You have to understand the confidence that it takes for these youngsters to go in, and when they go down to try and battle back, simple enough. Put them on the forefront, get a goal early, and you do just fine. They'll look to do the same thing this evening.
Well, it feels early, right, in this USL Championship season, but this game is massive. A 6-pointer between St. Louis and Sporting KC2. It's coming up next.
When you need quality electrical work for your home or business, look to theelectricalconnection.org. Created as a partnership between IBEW Local 1 electricians and the St. Louis chapter of the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Electrical Connection has been setting the standard for electrical excellence in St. Louis for over 100 years. You can depend on our highly skilled and trained workforce, your #1 source for quality electrical and communication contractors, electricalconnection.org.
Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr here with you. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Schlafly. St. Louis coming in on 9 points.
With 3 games in the next 10 days, Steve Tritchu opting not only to rest some of the boys. 7 changes overall for St. Louis FC. He's also going to toy with the formation. This is a great look for St. Louis. They were fantastic in their 1-0 win against Indy 11. They went to the 3-back. They'll do it again. When you have implemental pieces like Fanuel Kavita, Sam Fink, and Adewale, who is not in the 11 tonight, you have to find a way, though, to regularly get them on the pitch, supplemented by Tyler Blackwood, Kyle Gregg up top. The midfield 3 have to be better, create more opportunities. Nagamura's band of misfit toys, well, they're going to have 3 changes, but the back line's going to look very familiar. Dylan Cerna, Barbier with his cracker in the 70th minute versus Indy 11 gets the nod again, and Sam Raymond. Brooks Thompson has been fantastic in goal. Christian Duke will wear the captain's armband, and Wilson Harris will look to continue his scoring raise up top in the number 9 position.
Sporting KC 2 in their road baby blues, sky blues if you will.
As we are all united
St.
against
Louis
racism.
in their home greens with the white trim as both teams take a knee as the USL Championship remains united against racism.
Thank you.
Powerful message that we've seen throughout the USL Championship season. Harris, Wilson Harris that is, ready to kick us off in a big match. Again, St. Louis coming off a tough loss on the road against Memphis. And Sporting KC 2, trying to make it 3 straight wins and 3 straight wins coming on the road. A huge 6-pointer here in Group E has kicked off here in Missouri. Early pressure from Blackwood. Camden Riley with the early cleanup duty, and it's cleared away. Enoch's header pushed into the path of Harris, and it's swept away by the St. Louis back line. A 3-man back line. It was Kavita that time who stepped in. Fink. And sent back by Fisher. To John Barner, I should say Burner, his first start, Devin, since 2016 in goal for St. Louis tonight as Steve Tritchu gives Kyle Morton the night off. He's had a phenomenal season so far for St. Louis, but a 4-year absence ends, and we'll be interested to see how he does between the sticks.
One of the 7 pieces to this puzzle that has earned a rotation, and with all the games in a short amount of time frame, you have to find a way to keep guys fresh. Kyle Morton, no exception. John Burner does have plenty of experience, though, under the tutelage of Mike Jeffries with the Charlotte Independents, 2015 and 16. Was, of course, on loan from the Colorado Rapids. And upwards of almost 40, so he understands what it takes to get the job done. As you mentioned, whether it was with Charlotte or his loan and then permanent stint with Phoenix Rising, was never able to break into that starting 11. Nice little confidence booster. It is always great to have that in your back pocket when your backup has a bit of feeling to his game, if you will, not just getting pounded on the practice pitch.
Wall Fall, able to move that forward. Coach Steve Tritchu told us that Wall Fall's kind of a game away from being back to where he normally is at, and that's just a dynamic midfielder who can really dictate things in the middle of the park. Take a look now at the keys to the game, brought to you by Dobbs. Devin, we were talking about this before the start, and this formation is pretty important for St. Louis, but like you mentioned, a lot of changes.
Just had a little fun with the word game here, 3-5 who, and I mentioned that in the sense that, okay, so we're going to rotate into this wingback type system, and the who comes more so on the line of, okay, there is a lot of rotation. 7, 2 on the back line, goalkeeper, 2 in the middle, 1 up top, and 1 at that outside back, wing back, midfielder position, if you will. Trust the process. Steve Tritchu knows that he's got some quality players here. And these guys train enough. Just understand it's a next man up type deal. And same thing for Sporting Kansas City too. Who's next? Go get them. Don't care who stands in your way right now. Quality back-to-back victories. Now it's just continue the train forward. Move your way up Group E.
The average age of the last 11 for Sporting KC2, starting 11 I should say, was 21.7 years of age. So a lot of youngsters in Paulo Nagamura's 11 that's won 2 straight road games against Lou City And against Indy 11, ending their 28-game, actually 29-game unbeaten run at Lucas Oil Stadium. Good ball into the penalty area. It was Greg near it, at least initially, and it's cleared away. Here's Davis for Sporting KC2. Daniel LaParre was able to get there and win it back for St. Louis. Umar. Flicked towards a bend. Umar under some pressure. And Steve Tritchu told us that with the formation, and Devin, you asked him directly, are you going to use it again? Because it worked so well. And he said, you know, we thought about just using it at times, but it worked so well that we're going to start with it. We're going to see how it goes, and hopefully the same success continues. And on top of that, obviously putting Blackwood and Greg up top together, a huge boost. The two guys that have been so big scoring goals for St. Louis. One more recently, obviously, with Blackwood, 3 goals. All of them have been crucial to the early stages of St. Louis' season, and even going back to last season as well. And Kyle Gregg, obviously one of the best all time in league history at scoring as well.
Out of respect to Daniel Fisher on the back line this evening, you move in out of Wale. Picked up a slight little scare in warm-up, so they'd rather be safe than sorry over this stretch that they're going on, shut him down for the night. But you bring him onto the back line and pair him alongside the likes of Sam Fink, Fanuel Kavita, high IQs, very athletic players that are all big leaders as well, vocal, and they lead from the back to the front. The example they put forth on the field is always followed by each individual that throws the St. Louis FC jersey on. Then you start to get guys like Gagnon Laparé outside involved. Paris G was brilliant in the performance against Indy 11. And it's hard for us to only reference the one because that's our sample size, right, Sean? It's unfortunately only one game, but that's not a bad look to go after. Of course, Oscar Umar coming back from that facial fracture. He's been, for me, one of the biggest missing links in the midfield. While Fall's starting to get it going, everything seems to be headed in the right direction. Just continue to stoke that fire.
Pressure here on the Sporting KC2 goalkeeper Brooks Thompson. Forced it to clear a little bit earlier than he wanted to. And Fink was there defensively to make sure it didn't turn into a Sporting KC2 counterattack, at least not initially. Maybe sometimes it's just you see what you really like, it works, and sometimes sample size, you know, maybe not, maybe in the long run, obviously you'd like it to be working for a long period of time, but you mentioned it earlier, Devin, in the open, it's, you know, time is of the essence. When something's working, you kind of got to ride it, and maybe it could turn into the identity of a club moving forward. Gagnon Laparé putting the pressure on Enoch. Played all the way back towards Rabin. And controlled by Rod. Try to put it into the path of Christian Duke initially, won back by St. Louis. Sporting KC2, back-to-back really impressive road wins. 2-1 at Lou City. Wilson Harris scoring a late winner to give Sporting KC2 their first 3 points of the season. Devin and I were on the call. We were kind of thinking at the time, you know, that could be maybe a glimmer of hope for Sporting KC2, but they turned it into a big batch of hope after they beat Indy 11 on the road and surprised quite a few. If they can make it the trifecta, it's going to turn more into just a feather in the cap for Paulo Nagamura and his side. It's going to turn into, hey, we could turn this into a heck of a season here. All cut out. One back by Sporting KC2. Duke trying to control it. Out wide, Cerna. It was initially Rod calling for it in the midfield. Instead it swung all the way around. Rabin controls. Enoch. Gagnon Laparé was there to stand him up. And Coach Steve Tritchu also told us, you know, he's been saying all season, every game is big. He's kind of stopped telling his team that, really. It's just in the DNA of this year's team and the circumstances around it. It's just, we get it. The guys know it. The coaching staff knows it. The fans are starting to catch on as well. Everybody knows how big every single game is, and saying it is kind of a moot point. Everyone kind of gets it at this point.
And also the mental fortitude it takes in these, Sean, to get through wins over the likes of Indy 11 and Louisville City FC. It's a very difficult thing to do, and it's not like that job is done. Normally you're playing a home and away series over 34 games in 8.5 months. That's not the case anymore. 16 games on a 13-week sprint. To now you play Sporting Kansas City 2 twice in the span of 10 days. And then you have to turn the corner and play teams like FC Tulsa, Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Lou City will close out the month. Just got to stay focused and really maintain that mental strength, because it's not going to get any easier at all.
Enoch initially did the work on the near side, and the ball was fit in a little too quickly by Davis and cut out. Harris's pressure forces the clearance by Burner. Greg misjudged it initially. Oh, they let it drop back there. It was almost dangerous there from Rabin. If Greg was a little quicker, he might have been able to run onto that. But Sporting KC2 settle things down. All out of play, throw in for St. Louis. Umar, and St. Louis will push it all the way back to Sam Fink. Did last night's cleaning crew drop the ball? Call the pros at Janny King for a free cleaning quote and get the winning service you deserve.
Shape a bit interesting here, not only on the back line, but what's going on in the midfield. First acknowledgement has to be for the fact that Sam Fink has actually dropped into the central role instead of Fanuel Kavita.
Good chance here, ball in behind. Blackwood got a touch to it, but it was Kavita who was there defensively to stick a boot in there. Umar, another chance to put a ball into the penalty area. Greg was the target. And it'll go softly out for another St. Louis throw-in.
Those two are paired alongside each other in a back four. Kavita tends to really post himself up more. Look it on the left.
And again, the ball over the top. Blackwood lurking, couldn't quite get a touch to it, but a thumbs up of approval for that service over the top.
The key's got to be in the middle right now, though, Sean, with Guy Bend and Oscar Umar basically sitting at the bottom of a triangle. Bend proving the pivot point for Wall Fall. It does cause a lot of space to open up, but it's a lot more running for Fall as well. And what you're seeing already 12 minutes in, watch Kyle Gregg. He's actually dropping down in just to help out a little bit, see if they can crowd the midfield and not allow the likes of Christian Duke or Jake Davis when they drop back in to become the facilitators for this attack moving forward.
One back by St. Louis. Wall, Fall, lines it up. Over the top for a goal kick. Ambitious, but well struck.
He can hit him anywhere he wants to. And I love Kyle Gregg. Watch him just pull the runner away from him. Well done. Tucks the thing inside, and Wall Fall, little touch. Have a go, why not? Same confidence you're looking for at likes of Sporting Kansas City 2, grabbing something early. A marksman like Wall Fall feels the same.
Here's Coach Steve Tritchu, first season in charge of St. Louis, and he kind of chuckled when we asked him about the circumstances. Obviously, nobody could have seen what was going to happen this season with the pandemic and things of that nature, and just said, his team has handled it as well as you could ask any team to handle a situation like this. And so he hasn't really had to tell his team, how they have to act in a situation like this. They've been professional about it. They've been taking it day by day and taking things as they come. And I think the thing he was kind of stressing to us was just doing it as a team, making sure that everybody is on the same page. It's kind of been a theme that a lot of coaches have stressed this season, just making sure when we do things, we do it as a team. Make sure that everyone knows what has to be done in these certain kind of situations to get through it and get through it as well as you possibly can. As that ball is touched away just out of Enoch's reach by Burner. Here's Enoch again for Sporting KC2. And it's a good interception there by Blackwood, and he could turn this into something possibly for St. Louis. Greg is up there with him to his right, and the touch gets away from him at the last moment, and Fisher was there, it was Cerna there defensively for Sporting KC2.
It's beautifully done once again, where the weak side help is coming from one of your striking partners coming up top. Kyle Gregg helping Wall follow before, this time Tyler Blackwood coming all the way back to help out the boys on the left side of the field. A little overabundance of St. Louis players doesn't really catch Sporting Kansas City 2 by surprise, but does open up some space once you start to counter the other way.
A bend to Umar. Plenty of space for Fisher to run into for St. Louis. There's Umar. If you can see the sun kind of glinting off of that mask he's wearing. Devin mentioned it earlier, the facial fracture he's still dealing with. Dare I say it, looks a little Richard Hamilton from up here. Gagnola Pare for St. Louis to fall, cuts it back, gets past two, the layoff, and a bend. Just couldn't quite line it up. He was under a bit of pressure as well. And it's over the top for a goal kick.
We don't usually see a touch from Wallfall extended this far away from his body. Last-ditch effort. He is able to get back to it. Watch when he cuts here. Just that little right there. Normally keeps it much closer proximity to his body under control. And when Aben tries to stride through, it's that long extension leaning back the entire way, forces it up over the top. There is this constant pressure from St. Louis FC right now. Really like the shape that the midfield's taking with the help they're getting from their strikers up top. The key point for me is still going to be what relationship can be created between Wallfall and Guy Bend. Normally, the three that we see in the triangle for Steve Tritchu in the midfield is more loaded with two up top. Instead, it's flipped around. You're allowing two to sit and Wallfall to explore a bit more. Especially with the fitness Wallfall, as you mentioned, trying to get back to it. How much does he have in the tank to be able to hold that role?
St. Louis have maybe not clear-cut chances, but created the two best chances so far in the first 16 and change. And they're trying to push Sporting KC2 back as far as they can. All cleared further upfield. And a poor touch by Ben. It could leave Enoch with a chance here. Big mistake. Can Enoch punish it? Big save by Burner. Not quite cleared. Enoch goes. He's swarmed. It's cleared away by Fisher. St. Louis now trying to hit back on the other end. Brian running up with it. Tried to find Greg. Couldn't quite thread the needle. One back by Umar. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, the game has really opened up here. Fall. And he pulls on the jersey of Jake Davis. Advantage is played. Here comes Sporting KC2 again. 12 million step overs. It's cleared away by St. Louis. And they can settle things down after a wild back and forth right there. A bend. Now Sporting KC2 starting to press forward here. Burner. Not a lot of space there, and I think just got it to Fisher. And Fisher hoofs it upfield. And Greg is penalized. I'll take a deep breath. Here's the last sequence, Devin.
Took 18 minutes for both these squads to get off the bus and recognize that the whistle has blown, but watch the transition now. It's poor in the midfield for sure. Guy Ben trying to play back, hospital ball, gets his back line in trouble, then you're off to the races. Enoch Mushagalusa understands the space. What I would like to see here, look at how flat-footed John Burner is when he comes off the line, and your attacker slows down. Use the pace to your advantage. Quick little touch to your right, get out around the goalkeeper and stick this thing in the back of the net.
What a huge chance for Sporting KC2 to take the lead. Again, we mentioned the numbers. When they score first, it normally means big-time results. They were nearly gifted a chance right there. Well, they weren't. They just couldn't take advantage of it. Yola Pere to Fink. Blackwood for St. Louis. A push and a chase. Greg in the area. He tries to find Greg, and it whips past him. Enoch under pressure. Yola Pere deep into that corner. And he has to boot it out for a throw, and I believe for St. Louis.
Just pin him here, Sean. Let's play quick. They're shifted to the far side of the field. You've got some space. Wallfall's not paying attention. And now you allow them to regroup.
It's turning into a wrestling match there on the edge of the penalty area. It falls for Umar. A little rare miss kick from Blackwood, but he regains it and then loses it after a double challenge there. It's Christian Duke who initially came away with that. Cerna. And it's hoofed upfield. Fink let that drop, but in the end, Burner can control. Boys, you never know when a game can just burst into life. That one mistake by a Ben nearly really opened it up, but it certainly brought this game back to life.
Easy to point the finger at the striker there, moving up on the right side, then quite smart, read the play, goes right down the middle. Enoch, still top quality out of John Burner. We've talked about it a little bit. No appearances for basically the better part of 4 years. Step right in, make a big time save like that. Not only does it give you confidence, the players in front of you recognize that they've got a stalwart behind them.
Chance here for St. Louis if Blackwood could find the angle. And Yola Pere assessing his options. Yola Pere into the penalty area, flicked away by Cerna. Headed back into the path of Kyle Gregg. And then Gregg's pass is too far out in front. Umar had a couple of options there. Instead, allows the back line with Kavita to regain possession. Fink, a searching ball. It's over the top of Yola Pere. And out for a Sporting KC2 throw. I wonder what was going through Steve Tritchew's mind when John Burner had that one-on-one opportunity. Well, if he was holding his breath, he was satisfied with the result.
That's one of the ones when you look back at the end of the match, whether it's a point or 3, thinking positively, you go, just kind of save my backside here. So you can get yourself into trouble when you rotate too many players. They've gone with the luxury of 7, and that is part of the depth that this club hasn't had really the option to necessarily go after in the past. Last year's beautiful start to the season, of course, the deep Open Cup run put them in jeopardy because they did not have positions that were 2 and 3 men deep. A little bit different here in 2020. Whether you're looking to supplement some attacking roles, either in the midfield or up top, or change something on the back line, you can make more than 2 or 3 and still be able to get away with it, and that's on full display here this evening.
Good tackle by Yola Pere. Ball couldn't quite get to it again. Jeremy Yola Pere is on it for St. Louis. Fall, lovely. Umar. Kavita. Umar again. And that one leaves a little bit to be desired for Yola Pere. I'm sure this is what Coach Tritchew was hoping for from this St. Louis side today. Again, like you said, despite the changes, sometimes a good formation, a good tactic can override that.
It's not a bad start for them. Conversely, Sporting Kansas City too, they've not been bad on the ball. They're moving it nicely. The only frustrating side for Paulo Nagamura at this point in time is going to be he'd like them probably to be a bit more vertical, find the likes of Wilson Harris. But the fact that you can string together 8, 10, 12 passes, dissect right through the heart of St. Louis FC and find the speed. Like Samusha Montpremier on the left. That's quality as well. And you will see them sit at times. They have the ability to be very patient. This is a good look right now. They're not going to force the issue, step on it, and we go again. This is the system that's put in place for them to succeed. It's just very much a wash, rinse, repeat type deal.
Umar. Avita trying to find Blackwood. Out for a corner on the far side for St. Louis. And a set piece opportunity for the boys in green to maybe create a chance to get in front here. Umar will take this. And it comes. It was initially towards Fisher. Chance for Sporting KC2 to run away with it here. That's just too far out in front. Sliding challenge out of play. Sporting KC2 throw on the far side. As Brian was able to recover defensively for St. Louis. Harris, 12 goals in his last 16 league appearances for Sporting KC2. Certainly someone to watch.
He and Tyler Blackwood are drinking from the same kettle. Positive thing as well is when they are marking, seems like their teams end up in the win column, so that's always nice.
KC2 trying to play out of the back here. Rabin looking for help. Rod. Camden Riley, who's someone that when we had them against Lou City the second time was a player you liked a lot, Devin. Sporting KC2. Had a couple big tackles late in that game to help seal that big win in Louisville.
And a couple big mistakes as well. He's not usually that inconsistent off the ball. Defensively tracking back was part of the no call that most people felt should have led to a penalty. Of course, it did not. And he gives this team the opportunity to really challenge their outside backs. Dylan Cerna, Sam Rabin this evening have no problem both going at the same point in time because they know Camden Riley will drop in and help with Barbier and Rod. But he's very much the engine that could, if you will. Watch him as he drops down in, just looking to find a way to bridge the gap. He'll start to pull the central midfielders of St. Louis FC towards him and then break lines, moving this forward. And then just like that, they connect to the next level, all starting from Camden Riley.
Umar nearly lost it. Gagnola Perret. Fisher, back to Fink. Earn, save, spend, and learn with Greenlight. A debit card to kids that parents manage by app. Sign up today at greenlightcard.com and get 1 month for free. Umar. Looked for Greg. We tried to flick it on for Blackwood. Nearly worked out there. Fall keeps it alive. Greg brought down. Free kick for St. Louis. That was all from Kyle Gregg's leaping ability there. And Sporting KC2 concedes a set piece opportunity.
They get bailed out a little bit here as they've become a bit one-dimensional in the midfield. So you go vertical. Well done by Wallfall to play off, and then nice hold-up play by Kyle Gregg. The three of them working off each other does prove nice, but there is this gap of about 15 to 20 yards right now for St. Louis FC, and it is in fact Oscar Umar and Gaia Ben just failing to allow this to become one equal group effort going forward. Now that's not a fault of theirs, that's just finding a way to keep communication lines open and make sure you're all working in sync, and we just haven't necessarily seen that so far. Goes to the St. Louligans in the background getting going.
Umar is ready. In goes the set piece, it falls. 4-wall fall. And again, he hits it over the top. That's got to be a good sign though, despite 2 of his chances not being on target. The confidence to take them certainly also important.
Just catches it on the one hop on the way up, a little bit of spin on the ball, and watch it on the apex. If you're going to catch this, it's got to be right at the bottom of the ball coming up off the turf. That way, if it does start to rise, you can get it just below the bar. He's leaning back as well, and the second that he strikes this thing, he knows it's off.
Harris turn to get it towards Enoch, and Yola Pere is there again defensively for St. Louis and thinks better about it and goes all the way back to John Berner in goal. Kavita towards Fall, touched forward by Blackwood and cleared away. Enoch, lovely step over there. Enoch looking, well, initially towards the penalty area. Now he's swarmed, does well, wins his side a corner. First set piece opportunity for Sporting KC2.
This is where they were successful the other night. People are quick to forget that Barbier's strike actually came off a secondary ball on the far side of Lucas Oil Stadium. First one got whipped in, and it was well done by Montpremier on the backside to hold up play to allow all of the rotation and get Barbier, one of the big center backs, in an open spot.
Davis is there for a short option for Sporting KC2. Whipped in towards the near post. Nobody really got great contact on it, and a foul will send us the other way. John Freeman, our center official, blows for the first hydration break of the match, 1 in each half. And the first half hydration break has been signaled. Interesting first 31.5 minutes so far. Not a ton of clear-cut chances really for either side.
I think one of the things to think about, Sean, is, both of these teams, though maybe struggling with what they're trying to do this evening, they have had some quality success recently. When you take a look against 2, Indy 11 and, of course, Louisville City FC, you think, okay, well, that's great, they beat them both. Yeah, it's only been done 6 times in the past 2 seasons. 7 times. 7 times. Pittsburgh did it twice. Bob Lilly, of course, seems to have everybody in his back pocket. Couldn't go further back because Indy 11, well, they didn't step into the Eastern Conference of the USL Championship until 2018. But look at where the teams that did it finished. You're talking about high-quality pedigree. Pittsburgh, of course, winning the East last year. Nashville finished in 2nd. And the only 2 teams that finished outside of the top 4 were Red Bull 2 and Birmingham. FC Cincinnati, they're record-breaking. So though they've been able to do it, it's what the future lies ahead for them and where they could go. Now, the biggest difference, of course, yeah, it's great that you beat those 2 teams and you basically did it back-to-back, but now you got to go do it again.
Especially considering where they were before those games, how important they were. Must mean just a little bit more even for this young team to put that kind of a run together. And despite the pressure that St. Louis has put on Sporting KC2 in this game, we've seen the signs. Again, the biggest chance for either side was the mistake by Gaia Ben that allowed Enoch to get in behind. And a big save by John Berner, who's been out, at least as far as starting in the USL Championship for so long, 4 years. And he comes on, and for Coach Steve Trittschuh, makes a ginormous save early in the match to keep it at level scores. That's been the biggest moment so far.
Sean, lest we forget that for these teams in their victories, you can look at it two ways, right? It's really difficult to play an opponent multiple times a year. You have to do it 3-4 times, and you have to do it in a small amount of time. But still, kudos to learn from your mistakes. Remember that just a week and a half prior, Sporting Kansas City 2 lost to Indy 2-1. Sporting Kansas City 2 lost to Louisville 1-0. So they flipped the script on those. And you could say the same, although the score lines are a little different, you could say the same for St. Louis FC. They got dropped by Indy 11 on their resumption and play on July 11th, 2-0. 15 days later, they come back home, they win 1-0. So it's showing the progress that is being made. Steve Trittschuh understands that, yes, they played well against Indy, and that probably is their best performance so far. But by no means is it what they're capable of. You're looking on a team on a scale 1 to 10. In that Indy game was probably at an 8. They can hit the high mark, but you've got to get everybody going in one direction.
Flicked on for Greg, just out of his reach, and gobbled up by Brooks Thompson. I keep thinking about what Coach John Hackworth told us before that Sporting KC2 game. These teams are going to beat each other up in this group. And for a while there, we were just kind of waiting for Sporting KC2 to join the party, and boy, have they. And they've been throwing confetti over the rest of the group the last couple of matches. Enoch. Davis. Lapare kind of grabbed at him a little bit there. It's a throw-in for Sporting KC2. Davis, first time ball into the penalty area, too far in front of Harris. Might have been offside anyway. There were a few appeals. And it's a goal kick. Whatever you drive, new, used, domestic, or import car, light truck, or SUV for routine service, factory scheduled, or preventative maintenance, and complex diagnostic repairs, count on the expert ACE certified technicians at Dobbs to do the job right. Greg. Strong to stay on his feet. Advantage played by the center referee. Greg into the penalty area. Nobody there for St. Louis, but they do win a throw.
Great hold-up play by Kyle Gregg. Our guy who's just getting back at it after the birth of his child. Nice to see him back in action. Of course, away for a few weeks. Everybody happy and healthy, and now an opportunity to get back to work, if you will. I'm sure he would have loved to have been a part of the victories against Lou City and Indy 11. It's crazy to think, too, that where those teams came from. I mean, of course, Louisville City, back-to-back champions in 17 and 18. They then lose in the finals in 19. The team that they beat in the Eastern Conference Final, Martin Reddy's Indy 11, overtime. It seems like they get stronger every single year.
And you mentioned St. Louis's depth as well without Kyle Gregg to get those results. Kind of plays into that as well.
The one thing you have to be real careful of is don't rely too much on one player. And that's what Steve Trittschuh is trying to get going right now is, okay, Blackwood's up there, Kyle Gregg's up there. Not only can I have the 1-2 punch of those great guys, but now some chances to step in behind. We've seen a few from Wolf Fall as well, where that space is opening up. Sporting Kansas City, 2 players gravitating towards not only where the space is, but having to mark those 2 boys up top. I'd like to see some overlapping runs out of Gagnon Lapare and Richie Bryan on that far right side as well. And again, another unnecessary turnover from the home squad.
Could it lead to a big opportunity here for Sporting KC2? Few options in the middle. Lovely touch, and the touch back to the goalkeeper. Berner is there again. Another big opportunity off a mistake. Sporting KC2 can't quite capitalize. Montpremier nearly was in one-on-one after a lovely touch. Fisher and Fall trying to settle things back down. Kavita nearly gave a big chance away. Though, again, I say chance. The chance was there. Sporting KC2 not quite able to put it away. Here's another look.
A quick fire option on the far side. Seen it from Sam Fink. Guy Bend, Oscar Umar gives one away, and now Fanuel Convina. These are your consistent namesakes for St. Louis FC. Nice to see Montpremier starting to get involved in attack. They've pretty much overloaded on the right side so far. Have to have the balance, and I'm sure Nagamura and co on the sideline are talking about that because they have done a good job of really isolating the attacks for the most part. When they're building up, they're really gravitating towards this right side. Got to start to go tit for tat on the left and right.
And Yolan Pare over to Umar. He's had plenty of time on the ball in this first half, trying to make things happen for St. Louis.
Beautiful spacing by Sporting Kansas City too defensively. All the blue shirts, not only the players locked down, all the passing lanes out as well.
Greg with some more hold-up play. And wins his side to throw. Of course, this game kind of becomes that little ounce more important when you look back at St. Louis's season last year, missing out on the USL Championship playoffs by a single point. Coming into tonight, obviously, could have been even more in the driver's seat for the playoffs if they had gotten a good result last time out. But this game becomes even more important knowing what St. Louis wants to accomplish this season and what they nearly couldn't quite accomplish last season. Brian. It's a Gaia Bend. Yolan Pare, cut out by Riley. And Enoch is dragged down. Free kick for Sporting KC2. He's had a lot to do again, Yolan Pare, in this first half. To exchange a smirk. Greg trying to put some pressure on Camden Riley. That was kind of one of the things that Steve Trittschuh, St. Louis head coach, alluded to us when we talked to him earlier this week. He kind of wants to make the young Sporting KC2 players feel like they've been in a really tough game, kind of run them down, and hoping that at some point that'll be a factor in them breaking through in this game and obviously completing the goal of getting what would be a massive 3 points. And of course, this is also the first of a 3-game home stretch for St. Louis as well, making them even more, that much more important as Camden Riley drags down Gaia Bend.
Playing 7 games on the road, and the resumption of play for Sporting Kansas City too will give you a little bit of what he's looking for. And Camden Riley going into the book as the quick little step here by Bend was going to allow them to explode into the final third.
And that would make a result tonight for Sporting KC2 that much more remarkable, the fact they've had to do it all on the road.
Number 44, Camden Riley.
It's also real easy for people to look at some of the results, not recently, but just historically. You know, you go back to last year, not the best of outings. They were in a lot of games, unfortunately just ended up on the wrong end. Only 6 wins to show for it, and only 26 points, finishing at the bottom of the barrel in the Eastern Conference. But remember, we're just a few years removed from back-to-back finals for this squad.
Kyle Gregg. Nearly, well, he fought off 2 or 3 Sporting KC2 defenders. Couldn't quite find Brian on the edge of the penalty area. And Sporting KC2 can bring this out of their own half. Rabin to Rod. Rabin. Tried to find Enoch, who's had a bright first half. One back by St. Louis to a Bend. Harris's pressure on Fisher, forced all the way back to Berners, made a couple of big saves. These couple of big corralling moments in this first half. Foul goes against Sporting KC2. As again, Kyle Gregg putting in the dirty work on the on the Sporting KC2 side of the field. Yeah, Coach Steve Tritchu, I think the most excited he was about this game was seeing Blackwood and Gregg up front together to see how that would play out. And we've seen the signs already that it could be a really dynamic duo, as many would expect. Another takeaway here by Sporting KC2. Montpremier. Step-overs galore, and is forced back. And St. Louis gets back defensively and is able to force the counterattack to retreat.
Outside of the mistimed tackle, Camden Riley has been fantastic in the midfield. Every single thing he touches turns to gold right now. So consistent, just moving this side to side. Watch his positioning, understands exactly where he's supposed to be. And he's not going to put up ridiculous statistical numbers, but if you dig down deep, you'll find out where it matters most. And that's just finding a way to allow the likes of Davis or Duke, of course Harris, Montpremier up top, to have a little fun. And he's definitely done that. And the question is can they convert once they're given the chance?
We're into now 2 added minutes. At the end of this first half, stoppage time is presented by Paycor. Need more time in your business? Contact Paycor to handle your payroll and human resource needs.
Oscar Umar got the quick little shout, maybe hold off a little bit as Fanuel Kavita and Sam Fink got their marching orders. So good in the air, the two of them. Time and time again, Sam Fink in the 2019 either Open Cup or regular season seemed like when needed, he was more than willing to step up and convert. A lot of big bodies in the box right now.
Plenty to aim at for Oscar Umar. Flings one in there, was touched away. Gregg nearly ran onto it. Cleared out for a throw-in on that far side. Duke with a vital touch defensively for Sporting KC2. And Brian will run over and try to quickly take this with just under a minute left of the 2 added on. Settles for a long throw into the penalty area towards Fall. It's a lovely flick on. Can Gregg keep it in? And the referee has his flag up on the far side, might have gone out of play. Boy, it almost turned into a fantastic chance. Sam Fink was in there for St. Louis, but in the end, I think it might have just went over the line.
Secondary touch here as well. Quick little flick back, spot on. Goalkeeper's still there. Sam Fink understood that maybe the second stunt could come. They'll find a way to get him involved one way or another.
Gregg trying to flick that on for Blackwood. And we've had the 2 added minutes, and we've had the first half between St. Louis and Sporting KC2. Hopefully that last flurry, a sign of things to come in the second half. A few chances for both, none bigger than the chance for Enoch and that second chance from Montpremier. Both go by the wayside, and at the half, it's St. Louis 0 and Sporting KC2 0. More to come at the half.
Do you think he's ready for a debit card?
Mm-hmm.
He's on a roll.
Mm-hmm.
The Greenlight app and debit card makes it easy to manage your kids' money and brings you peace of mind. With Greenlight, kids form smart money habits that prepare them for their futures.
Did you know about this? Thank you.
Greenlight, all the tools you need to raise financially smart kids.
When you need quality electrical work for your home or business, look to the electricalconnection.org. Created as a partnership between IBEW Local 1 electricians and the St. Louis chapter of the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Electrical Connection has been setting the standard for electrical excellence in St. Louis for over 100 years. You can depend on our highly skilled and trained workforce, your #1 source for quality electrical and communication contractors, electricalconnection.org.
So how is it?
Great.
Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr back here with you. No score between St. Louis and Sporting KC2 as of yet. Let's take a look at the playoff picture. Obviously, this game, one of the many that mean a lot to the group standings in Group E. Here's how it looks at the moment. The season ended today. The teams that are at the top of the groups will be moving on to the USL Championship playoffs. Devin, anything catch your eye?
A couple, actually. Group A, Tacoma Defiance, the fact that they're in there, with all due respect to the young talent of the Fighting Chris Littles. Sacramento Republic, only one win so far. Expect more out of Mark Briggs' squad. I'm sure they'll be just fine. Couple injuries. Also, the Real Monarchs, your reigning champions, did not have the luxury of some of the supplementation from Real Salt Lake in Group C. They're at the bottom. Group D, yeah, it's wide open. E is trying to battle each other. Group G, I'm still not sure what I'm going to make of that. In Group H, I think those two are two of the bigger ones that you kind of turn your head at and go, who's willing to step out and take a chance here?
Going to be interesting to see how that moves forward in all of the groups, really, especially this one. We've got USL news and notes, results, and upcoming games coming up. But before that, we take a look at this USL Championship feature.
The USL is proud to bring professional soccer back into our communities and across the ESPN family of networks. Follow your local club and don't miss these exciting matches coming up on ESPN2 or ESPN Deportes.
Dr. George Champus from Northwestern and U.S. Soccer's Chief Medical Officer joins me. Coach, try and describe, as soccer has returned around the country over the past month, the work that you and the doctors at U.S. Soccer and in association with the USL Championship, the work you've put in to make sure everybody remains safe for athletes, staff, referees, and in some cases, fans.
Well, Mike, first, it's great to be with you, and watching the USL getting back on the field is really a special thing. To be perfectly honest with you, it's been a collaboration across, I think, our sport in the United States. I think it's what's been really, while we've seen so many challenges with regards to COVID, one of the really good things is seeing, all of the leagues come together, from USL to CONCACAF to NWSL to MLS to NISA, all of us really banding together as a single sport to find a pathway that is first and foremost healthy, and putting our players and all of the staff, coaches, announcers, referees, a top priority. And then subsequent to that was looking at our youth game, that we as a federation, can we create a very responsible guideline that really resonates across the sport.
Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr back here with you. No score, St. Louis and Sporting KC 2. Second half just around the corner. Before we get to that, we'll look at, first of all, the news and notes from around the USL Championship at the moment. Boy, where to start here? Bernardo Forbes certainly popped out to me when I saw this earlier, with a fantastic season for him so far as well. And obviously that big matchup at the bottom, Memphis and North Carolina going to lock horns on Saturday.
King Kenny ascending the throne.
Aptly named.
Good for you, my friend. Bernardo Forbes, 38 assists all-time, passing Michael Chang of the Charleston Battery, and then the Real Monarchs, now of Real Salt Lake. And surprising, Titletown, Blue City, breaks ground on their massive training complex that's also going to be paired with women's program of NWSL racing.
Very good stuff there as we take a look at the scoreboard. And again, that big match that Sporting KC2 was able to win at Indy really stands out, obviously coupled with the St. Louis defeat as well. And obviously the game tonight, as we're in the middle of it right now, means so much. Phoenix Rising, big 3-1 win over El Paso. Hartford Athletic have been a really, really nice surprise so far. Big 4-1 win over another road warrior kind of team in Loudoun.
How about Philadelphia Union 2 earlier tonight?
No question
about that. Taking down New York Red Bull 2, 3-2. Battery and Atlanta United 2 locked up at zeros. Birmingham Legion, Tommy Sohn. I'm high on Birmingham. I have been since before the season started. They've got one of my favorites, Rookie of the Year, Bruno Lapa, back at it. And, of course, they picked up Nico Brett. They're up 2-0 at the half.
And, again, those results have been great. We've had some great games. More great games to come as well. A Florida derby of sorts. Miami and Tampa Bay getting set to do battle on Friday. Memphis and North Carolina, another good one as well. We'll see St. Louis go play Tulsa. Just had a crazy marathon win over RGV. Philadelphia plays Hartford on Sunday. That one stands out. What about for you, Devin?
The two that I have to gravitate towards are Lipa FC. It's going to be Lou City, Indy 11 on Saturday. Always a heated rivalry. Also, I'm going to go to that top left match, not because I'm going to have the luxury of being on the broadcast, but Miami FC, star-studded cast, still really hasn't shown us that much. I know they're getting better and they're getting their fitness underneath them. Neil Collins, think they're getting better every time they're on the pitch, and they just picked up a nice midfield piece in Adam Najam that's really going to help them lock down the center of the field.
St. Louis 0, Sporting KC 2-0. We'll take a break. After that, we'll get to highlights and stats from the first half, and then get you the second half from Missouri.
Do you think he's ready for a debit card?
Mm-hmm. He's on a roll. Mm-hmm. The Greenlight app and debit card makes it easy to manage your kids' money and brings you peace of mind.
He has to do it.
Mm-hmm. With Greenlight, kids form smart money habits that prepare them for their futures.
Did you know about this?
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Greenlight, all the tools you need to raise financially smart kids.
When you need quality electrical work for your home or business, look to the electricalconnection.org. Created as a partnership between IBEW Local 1 electricians and the St. Louis chapter of the National Electrical Contractors Association, the Electrical Connection has been setting the standard for electrical excellence in St. Louis for over 100 years. You can depend on our highly skilled and trained workforce. Your number one source for quality electrical and communication contractors, electricalconnection.org.
St. Louis 0, Sporting KC 2-0. Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr back here with you. Second half coming up in just a few moments here in Missouri. But first, we take a look back at the first half. A lot of chances for both teams, at least not Early on, maybe not so much, but towards the end, certainly, there were a couple of big ones, and Sporting KC2 almost took advantage of 2 big St. Louis mistakes, but this was the first chance early on.
The best ones did come from the visitors, and there was really a disruption on this backside. I really would like to see more out of Montpremier. I think Mushagalusa on the right has shown some spurts, but if they start throwing that 1-2 punch on left and right side, it's going to keep the back line of St. Louis FC guessing. They're cheating to the left right now, and Fanuel Kavita has been caught a couple of times, but even the positioning has been a problem because, look, when Sam Finn gets beat, there's no help whatsoever. Guy Ben gives the ball away, and you're off to the races. Phenomenal by John Berner, by the way. Start to finish, nobody would have thought less of him if this ends up in the back of the net. Oh, no start, no appearances in 4 years. No problem for John Berner. He keeps it knotted up at zeros.
St. Louis started to create some chances. Tyler Blackwood with a big chance to Kyle Gregg just goes past him. Pressure from St. Louis was pretty consistent throughout the first half.
Felt like everything was forced, though, when it got to the final third. They were reaching for an expectation that doesn't really exist at this point in time. A couple set-piece opportunities and, wall fall 2 or 3 times. The overextended effort knocked up over the bar. Still think that right now the best looks offensively had from Sporting Kansas City 2. Trying to play out of the back once again. Fanuel Kavita gets himself in trouble. Montpremier actually has the back post run. 2 options. Doesn't pay either off. Wilson Harris and Mushagalusa goes in on his own. Doesn't cut it back. Gets caught in traffic. John Berner comes up with another good save.
First half stats, 3 shots to 2 in favor of St. Louis. Just the 1 shot on target, the Mushagalusa effort off the mistake. Possession, though, clearly in St. Louis's area. Coach Steve Tritchu told us in the lead-up to this game, he's loved the creation of opportunities. He's loved how they've been in the build-up play, but not as aggressive in the final third. That's kind of carried over, hasn't it?
A lot more side-to-side for sure, and he's hoping that Blackwood and Gregg can get on the same page. Think they've done well on their own. Haven't really seen them combine yet. Like the collaboration with Wallfall when he stepped up a little bit, but still, it's an awkward balance, and you would expect more out of a squad with those types of names on the pitch.
Mentioned it earlier, this is the first of 3 big home games in a row for St. Louis. Here's the upcoming schedule. Tulsa come in next, and then Sporting KC2. Again, it could be an even bigger matchup depending on how the matchups fall between now and then. At Pittsburgh, certainly going to be a tough test. And then obviously we do it all again, Lou City and Sporting KC2.
Turn the page after that 3 times in the span of 4 weeks. Louisville, Indy, Louisville. Got to get points now while you're still hot.
It's going to be difficult again. Everyone beating each other up, everyone gunning for each other in Group E. Sporting KC2, again, we mentioned it earlier. Road Warriors, 2 more on the road, then they play OKC Energy at home at long last, and then they go right back on the road again.
The balance of their schedule right now favors them better. The reason is, again, once you start to extend yourself past that September 4th date, the fixtures become more frequent and they become a bit more troublesome. Indy, St. Louis, Austin, Indy, Louisville. That's how you're going to finish. And with all due respect to these other teams, you have a better chance of getting points against the likes of OKC Energy FC and FC Tulsa compared to your Louisville and your Indy 11s.
Boy, Sporting KC2 has been at the Lynn Family Stadium, I think, almost as much as Lou City has been there this season, but they've gotten the results.
Don't remind John Hackworth.
They played him tough, John Hackworth's bunch. Both sides have had a couple of bumps and bruises from those 2 battles over the last couple of weeks, and they'll have plenty more before this Group E story is told. And obviously this game's going to go a long way to telling the story potentially in Group E as well. Again, Indy are ahead, at least coming into the night, on 15 points. 9 points for St. Louis, 6 for Sporting Kansas City 2. Obviously, if either one of these sides comes out with all 3 points, it could go a long way to deciding who gets into the USL Championship playoffs when it's all said and done. Second half has been kicked off here. Still no score between St. Louis and Sporting KC2. There was a halftime change for Sporting KC2. Peter Kuich is on for Sam Rabin. Substitution brought to you by Cigna. Paulo Nagamura's bunch, slight change as they go after it in the second half.
Watch this little shift here as well that he's going to pull with Camden Riley, one of the more consistent performers in the first half, actually rotating out to the outside back position, and Kuich coming in next to Davis and Christian Duke. You're looking at someone in Camden Riley, just such a versatile player. Though he's great on the ball. West Coast Conference Player of the Year coming out of Pacific. It's actually Mac Herman, semifinalist, and the school's all-time leading scorer, and you're basically taking an all-out-and-out striker from the youth level all the way through his collegiate ranks, sticking in the middle, and now you have the ability to drop him down onto the back line. Gives you an idea of what they think of his talents.
Mashgalusa tried to get onto that, lost it initially, but Sporting KC2 regroup. Rod plays it all the way back to Brooks Thompson in goal. Hasn't had a ton to do, at least not yet. Chance initially there to push forward for Sporting KC2 instead. Kuich, the substitute, switches fields. And it was Cerna trying to make a run into the penalty area and control, but it's gobbled up by John Berner, who's really been impressive. Getting the start tonight. First time he has started in 4 years in the USL Championship, and with the fantastic season that Kyle Morton has had. We were all kind of surprised when we saw that he was on the bench tonight, and John Berner has picked up right where he left off. Has made 2 huge saves. Did that ball go out? Yes, it did. And it is a Sporting KC2 throw on the far side. Definitely the frustrations for St. Louis will be from the fact that Sporting KC2's big chances on the break have both come off of mistakes, but they've kept on fighting, they kept on putting on the pressure. They do concede a free kick here outside of the penalty area. And a set piece opportunity for Sporting KC2.
It is Camden Riley who picked up the knock, and let's see what they do with the space. St. Louis FC getting organized. Loads of room just outside the top of the 18. How about a quick little touch and go, play a little 1-2, and then knock something back in. Look all the way on the backside. Montpremier unmarked, as well as Wilson Harris playing zonal here. See if they step with a quick line.
Ball played in towards that back post. Harris tried to flick it on. Mashgalusa couldn't get there, and it's cleared away by St. Louis, and maybe a chance here for Tyler Blackwood if he can get there. He's in behind. Chance! Over the top! Best chance of the match for St. Louis. And you would have bet the house on Tyler Blackwood, but he couldn't hit the target.
Watch the ball right at the top of the 18. Distribution coming out of the back. Quick thought here. Really well done. Let's go up over the top, go vertical, and the first touch by Tyler Blackwood. Gets it out in front. Everybody chasing. Actually fails him just a little bit, gets stuck up underneath the body. And you wonder, does he put too much pace behind this ball when he can just tuck it right by Brooks Thompson? Never want to second guess Tyler Blackwood, but probably should have done better there.
Premier was almost in at the other end for Sporting KC2, but he was deemed to have fouled Fanuel Kavita. So St. Louis can clear. It's been that kind of a game. Isolated incidents of quality. Kyle Gregg out of nowhere puts a shot on target, and Brooks Thompson is there. Boy, he doesn't need much space, Kyle Gregg.
And both times right up over the top, right?
Quick fire transition on one, redirect on another.
That's all he needs, the tiniest of windows. Little lethargic playing out of the back, miscommunication. Barbier gets caught wrong side of the ball. Got to understand, the positioning there. Even when it's off, you don't have to step around the attacker. Just lower your shoulder, drop the body into it. Little 50-50 action.
Yeah, one route football, if you will, has been the ticket the last couple of moments for St. Louis. This one's right into Blackwood, who touched it onto his right boot, couldn't quite corral it. He knows he's got a corner for his side on this near side. Not many big chances yet created on set pieces, really, for either side so far. Umar will take. Not the best of deliveries, although it flicked off towards the back post. It stayed in play, and it was hoofed away at the back post by Kuich. And it's a St. Louis throw on the far side. Well, the service wasn't the best, but the deflection nearly put Sporting KC2 in a heap of trouble. Riley's header and Kuich's clearance for Sporting KC2. Can they hit back? Lovely touch by Duke. Montpremier. A push and a chase for Montpremier. He still goes into the penalty area. Montpremier's cross, two to aim at, neither get to it. And a throw in for St. Louis. Musha Galusa and Harris both couldn't quite get a touch onto it.
This team is proving pretty fun to watch. Transitional play, full exhibition. Shocked that they don't sell themselves out on this to try and get a tiny little poke. Foot race on the far side. Richie Bryan cannot keep tempo with Montpremier. There's some of the balance we talked about, Sean. Left and right. Pretty much Musa Galusa the entire first half. Now you're seeing it fluctuate over to the left-hand side. Keep them guessing if you're Sporting Kansas City 2. You also pin the wingbacks back. Don't allow Gagnon Lapre and Richie Bryan to push up and help out the attack.
Greg, fantastic touch to keep it alive. Floated into the penalty area. Blackwood, thumbs up. He was the target. Easily there and contained by Brooks Thompson. Devin, you asked to see a little bit more from Montpremier. He's trying to give it to you here and help his team out. He wins and holds on to possession there. Camden Riley pushing it in towards the penalty area. Harris, a lovely pass from Riley. Harris back to Riley, nearly found its way back to Harris, and it's deflected out for a throw-in for Sporting KC2, who are starting to stretch their legs out a little bit in this second half. Kuich thought about it, takes it, and maybe wants to rethink it. Couldn't quite hit the target with his left peg. Do you have a solid game plan for your financial future? At Edward Jones, they craft investment strategies that are as individual as you are. Still waiting for an individual to pop up with a goal in this one. But it is coming, it seems, for one of these two sides. Ball played back by Kavita. Sporting KC2 pushing upfield a little bit more. Kuich could have gone for that, didn't. Blackwood could be in behind here. It's a lovely ball in from Fall. Blackwood sizing it up. And nearly found Fall, but it was cut out by Kuich. Shot comes in. Oh, the goalkeeper, Thompson, might have just misread that. Didn't quite go for it, or maybe he did. Knew it was going to go wide in the end as the shot came in from Richard Bryan.
He's feeling a little slighted from the comments on the other end of the field, doing battle with Montpremier. Says, yep, I got a few tricks of my own. Not far off the mark. It's really the first high push we've seen out of him.
Blackwood thought he was fouled, nothing given. Sporting KC2 come the other way here. Harris controls, not much to aim at in the penalty area. He might go himself. He has a chance. Saved, rebound, in. Musha Galusa. They're uncontested for Sporting KC2. And yet again, the Road Warriors take the lead.
Where does it start from as well? Montpremier all the way from the back. just have to find a way to get all these guys involved. Wilson Harris, Mushagalusa, very active in the first 45 minutes, and the distribution comes from one of your strikers, but it's a 40-yard ball coming off the back line that allows it to do it. Wilson Harris, known for his goal-scoring prowess, gets into a one-on-one situation, tries to go it alone. Look at all the shirts gravitate towards him, and then forget the run of the back post. You just allow Enoch with a tiny little touch to put yourselves once again out in front on the road.
Well, this is turning into some story for Sporting KC2. A few matches ago, they had no points on the board in Group E. And in a live table scenario, after 2 road wins already on their resume, they've got the lead yet again on the road, this time against St. Louis. And the job of Wilson Harris there, creating the chance. Goalkeeper John Berner couldn't quite corral it. He saved it at least, but it fell right for Enoch Mushagalusa. And he was able to tuck it in. Well, Devin, we mentioned it at the top. When Sporting KC2 score first this season, boy, look at that point percentage, 87%, as opposed to that concede first percentage.
Yeah, it's the club's
remarkable.
It's the club's history, and it just gets deeper and deeper. Of course, you were actually talking to me about the ages taking a little jump, not very much, but I'm sure they would love to see the percentage points go up as Richie Bryan, not the greatest of jobs done, but you know, for only his 4th appearance on the season, primarily coming on as a substitute, not bad. Paris G will now assume his role at that outside, hoping that he can help out. Give Gagnon Laparé a little bit of luxury breathing from that left-hand side. Haven't really been able to go after this right side as well, and they got to find a way to pin back Montpremier. He's been great here in the second half.
That substitution brought to you by Cigna. Again, G in for Bryan. Try to change things up for St. Louis, who find themselves down a goal. First touch for G. Leave ball to switch fields by Fink. Harris back helping defensively, wins it back for Sporting KC2. Ball lofted over the top. Fink has it covered, and Berner gobbles it up. Well, we said it was coming. Someone we felt was going to score, and in the end, it's Sporting Kansas City 2. And it's Paulo Nagamura's boys that are in the driver's seat. Another ball in behind. Greg's chance. Saved. Greg runs back onto it. Tries to keep it alive, and Riley clears it away. And again, the Route 1 football, I should say, nearly creates a huge chance for St. Louis.
Works on one side, work on the other. Most of the success they have had tonight, Sean, has been these long balls up over the top. Tyler Blackwood twice, Kyle Gregg now twice as well. Mostly in the second half here. Still asking for more of a relationship to cultivate up top between the two of them. Once again, it is great that they're getting into these one-on-ones. But imagine if you've now got the luxury of that back post help. Just as Sporting Kansas City 2, exactly what played out on their goal, indirectly or not. Spacing for both of these back lines has been wide open. Neither manager's going to be happy.
Riley, just out of the reach of Davis. Blackwood flicks it on for Gregg. Gregg trying to find Blackwood, and it's cleaned up at the back. A-Rod defensively for Sporting Kansas City 2. Umar trying to step in on Montpremier. A wicked deflection off Kuich. And St. Louis will regain possession. Can St. Louis find an answer? Paris G, the substitute. Floats it over the top towards Gregg. It was Riley there defensively. Umar tried to fight his way and fight the ball into the penalty area. Fink towards Greg, cleared away. Cerna. Play stopped as we head to another Cigna substitution. It is the goal scorer, Enoch Bushagalusa, who's going to make way. Jarrett Townsend will come on. There's another look at his goal.
77, Enoch Bushagalusa.
Right place, right time.
Entering the game,
Daniel Lapre just gets caught sleeping. Still a massive amount of space in between Fink, Kavita, and Richie Bryant on the right side. Communication seems to be heavily off. Daniel Fisher can throw his name in as well. The quick fire transition, everybody rotating back over, have not been able to deal. Jarrett Townsend, don't think he was given enough credit for his performance at Louisville City in their 2-1 victory back on July 29th. Was able to get involved actually on the first goal with Reshitar. 8th minute opener. Just is a pest up top, to be honest. Always a thorn in the side, pushing the back line, asking lots of questions.
Chance here for St. Louis. Wall fall. Maybe took an extra touch there. Cleared away by the Sporting KC2 back line. Quickly back in by Kavita. Fink switches fields and a poor touch on the far side. Gives it back to Sporting Kansas City 2.
Think about that number, Sean. Scoring first, approaching 90%.
Yeah.
That they're getting points. Most of that does come in the likes of a victory. However, even just that mental thought of, hey, you know, we've done it, it gives you that deep down belief that you feel like you can do anything, right?
Especially for such a young team, the confidence has to do wonders for Paulo Nagamura's bunch. Davis sets it up. Oh, a whisker wide. What a fantastic take by Jake Davis. Just couldn't put it on target.
Oh, my eyes were wide open. I was asking for him. I said, oh, hit that.
Confidence, huh?
Oh, nice little touch, move around wall fall, and then gets Oscar Umar watching. Little pump fake, pulls the trigger. But those are the little things, right? You do the simplistic ones, and then all of a sudden the difficult things start to make it easier to perform human highlight reel motions. And that gives you the ability to search for something special. Enter the goal tonight. Danny Barbier, 70th minute against Indy 11. All of this leads to continue positive thought processes that help you put together a better performance.
Well, at this point, Devin, we've been kind of dubbing Sporting KC2 as the underdogs, getting, you know, close to that Cinderella kind of a story. If they keep playing like this, they're going to become contenders before our eyes.
We sort of alluded to it earlier, but 2016, they go to the final, they lose to New York Red Bull 2. 2017, they go to the final, they lose to Lou City. Of course, the artists formerly known as Silver Park Rangers were the ones who were standing in those shoes, but very talented bunch nonetheless. And though the academy has shifted its style a bit, you are seeing that youthful exuberance step out more and more. Younger players with that international flair here and there, Montpremier being one of them.
He gets past a couple here, Montpremier. He thought he was brought down. He can't believe that John Freeman, the center referee, did not blow his whistle. It's cleared towards the back line. And it is Danny Barbier who controls at the back for Sporting KC2. A lot of play. St. Louis has a throw, scoring the winning goal at Maryville with personalized education, nationally ranked academics, and Division II athletics. Learn more at maryville.edu.maryville. Many connections, one you. Paris G throws this into the penalty area. It was flicked out by Blackwood, but cleared off the 6-yard line by Sporting KC2. Boy, it seems like that's been where St. Louis has created their best chances, just off one quick little action over the top, whether it's been through a throw-in or a pass. They've nearly been in a couple of times, probably more than that at this point in this second half. And still plenty of time. Do you think that must be the key, it seems, to, at least that's what Coach Tritchu thinks, to unlocking this Sporting KC2 defense?
He's moved the pieces on the back just a little bit here. Keep an eye. Too much space coming in transition off that set piece other end.
Townsend, it almost opened up for him. Chance to put this into the back post. Montpremier couldn't quite put that on target, to say the least. Chance could still be on here. Shot was blocked, and then a overhead kick to clear it only as far as Barbier. Just when it looks like St. Louis is building some momentum, Sporting KC2 has an answer. Davis out wide. Davis again. Big chance potentially here. Nobody touched it, and it's off the bar from Montpremier. Miscommunication. Second chance. Fired into orbit over the top. Montpremier couldn't believe his luck, and he hits the bar.
This is not an easy take. Watch how quickly this bounces up off the pitch. Beautiful combination play down in the corner. Just hop, skip, and a jump, and he knows it gets away from him. Watch the top of the 18, though. Look at Christian Duke. Christian Duke wide open as well. Is probably the better option. He's got a nicer angle. But when Montpremier, a player like that, is feeling himself, just put it in front of him, let him make a play. Just escapes him. John Berner, I think his lucky stars on that one, huh?
Well, I'm only speaking for myself here, Devin. I thought for sure one of the St. Louis defenders was going to get a piece of that. Montpremier nearly scored a fantastic goal. And like I said, as soon as St. Louis kind of built a little bit of momentum, Sporting KC2 were there to create some of their own. A miscommunication, I should say a mistouch, I should say, from Dylan Cerna. Rare to see that from him, and it's a St. Louis throw. Kavita. Montpremier does well back defensively for Sporting KC2. Harris tried to hold it up. Montpremier assessed his options well. Camden Riley running onto it. Space to work with. Montpremier into the penalty area, and a huge missed chance again. Right on the doorstep, and it should have been 2-0. It looks like both teams, after that sequence, are going to make some changes here. Wharton will be on. Todd Wharton, that is, for Gaia Bend or St. Louis. That substitution, all these substitutions brought to you by Cigna. There's the confirmation of that. It was Russell Cicerone who is on for St. Louis. Dylan Cerna makes way. As Duval Wapawo will enter.
Substitutions for St. Louis FC, leaving the game number 28, Jeremy Gagnon-Latare. Entering the game number 9, Russell Cicerone. Also leaving the game number 8, Guy Aben. Entering the game number 7, Todd Wharton. In the 70th minute.
See how the changes for both sides will impact the end of this game. It was and Cicerone on. And Lapaway makes way for St. Louis. And there's the final signal change. Confirmation, Wilson Harris makes way. Dominic Rishitar scored the goal against Lou City. Is on. Both teams going for it in the last 20 minutes. And again, another St. Louis chance goes begging. All deflected out of play. And another chance for St. Louis to move things forward. What do you think of the changes? Wharton on along with Cicerone.
Well, the biggest move is going to be how deep are they going to ask Cicerone to come play in this three-back? It looks like so far they're cheating.
Chance nearly created their miscommunication. Brooks Thompson in the end falls on top of it, but it nearly got away from him there as Kyle Gregg was in there with a chance.
They're cheating and cheating pretty heavily on that left-hand side. I mean, Cicerone is going to play a bit higher than we saw at Gagnon Laparé. That's going to make the responsibilities of Daniel Fisher and the communication of Sam Fink have to make a step to another level, especially on a night where they haven't exactly been at their best. They are going to stick with the three. Everything else just kind of falls into shape for St. Louis FC with Wharton tucking in underneath Wall Fault.
Over the top for Tyler Blackwood. And it runs away from him. He's been so close so many times tonight. Sporting KC2 on the other end. Wapawo switches fields. Rishitar is in the area. Townsend. Kuich. Townsend again. Into the penalty area. And it's settled down for the goalkeeper burner from Kavita. A few back pass appeals. We play on.
I'm with him.
Tyler Blackwood. And his ball leaves a lot to be desired as it's cut out by Rod defensively. Or Sporting KC2 defensively.
Just watch this left side with the departure of Dylan Serna. Christian Duke now comes to the outside back position. And it's not that he's not capable, but you've got fresh legs and likes of Paris G. Good look at Paris right now. Orange boots, wearing number 2. Feed this a little bit. Cicerone on the left for sure, but on the right, Christian Duke, as he tucks himself back inside, it's going to be a mismatch on the spacing.
Here's G from Wharton. Gregg into the penalty area. Assessing his options, trying to hold on to the ball as well, and his touch lets him down. But it's won back by Wharton. Gregg lofts it in the area of wall fall, but it's right to the goalkeeper in the end, Brooks Thompson. I mentioned it earlier, Devin. There was also the chance in the first half where I think it was also Fanuel Kavita who touched it back to the goalkeeper, but that was not intentional. The last one, and hopefully in a minute we'll get a chance to take another look at it, but that one seemed a little bit more on the intentional side. We'll have to take another look to confirm that. Ball into the penalty area here from Townsend, who's been more dynamic in the last few moments. Cleared away by St. Louis. Fall to Blackwood. Could it open up here for St. Louis? Cicerone has Gregg in the middle, tries to find him, and the goalkeeper Thompson is there. And here's another look at that questionable back pass.
There's just no regard whatsoever of this trying to play it. And that's right at the goalkeeper. He's looking at him, touches directly towards him. They get away with one for sure.
I think the look on Kavita's face might have told the story there. Montpremier. Rishitar initially, now Wapawo, and Davis lingered on it a little too long there. It was cut out. Cicerone fighting for it. and is penalized.
Brilliant work by Jake Davis.
Fended him off well.
Yeah, great job just playing the body game. Understands that fresh legs in. Russell Cicerone stepping in there. Just turn him a little bit. Shield off. And kill some of these seconds off the clock as well.
Wapawo. Montpremier. Back to Wapawo. Still has Montpremier with him to his left. Finds him. In from Montpremier. Townsend. Touched it into a dangerous area, but nothing doing there for Sporting KC2 at the end. Parrish G, the outlet for St. Louis. Blackwood. G. Umar. G's touch too far out in front. Duke was there defensively, now Montpremier. And Rishitar was in the area. That pass, though, is out of the reach from Fisher. And it's out for a throw-in on the far side. As we head into the second half hydration break here in Missouri. Well, both teams had a number of chances in this second half, but so far, Devin, this has been the telling blow from Sporting KC2, and really, it was the work of Harris that led to the opportunity off the goalkeeper.
Still think that the front three in general have done a really good job creating for themselves tonight, even when they've been disconnected from the midfield three. Transitional play once again, Montpremier, Wilson Harris, and of course, the goal scorer, Mushagalusa, doing such a good job. All three of them involved on the goal. First one, Montpremier out of the back. Harris, Mushagalusa, back of the net.
And we talked about it when Sporting KC2 score first. They normally get the points. And it has played to that script so far. Those St. Louis have been knocking at the door. We've seen some signs of that good connection between Blackwood and Gregg, and they created some chances, but it's been the one ball over the top of that one ball from a throw-in that has created the biggest chances, and they haven't been able to take them. There's, again, the inside the numbers, the telling stat about Sporting KC2 when they take the lead, and 87% point percentage is honestly hard to fathom, but it's amazing how it's played out. And on the flip side, just under 32% when they concede first in the point percentage category. But if you're a Sporting KC2 fan, at the moment, it's on the right side of things, and the Luligans here are hoping that their home side can get back into this with just over 10 minutes and added time to play.
He's got to be really careful, too. I have no problem of St. Louis FC chasing the game, but their shape is starting to drop so that when they are pushing high, they're not holding it in unison. That's why you're seeing these quick-fire counter-attacking options where it seems like everybody from St. Louis FC is so spread out. Cheat on the left side by Cicerone. Fisher trying to rotate back over, cover a lot of ground. That's difficult to do when you've got fresh legs in Jared Townsend, Dominic Reshitar, and Montpremier just running laps on this left side.
A couple of changes for St. Louis. Wallfall makes way for Dean Dakers. Oscar Umar makes way for more Sam. Of those subs brought to you by Cigna. More firepower coming on for St. Louis in search of a goal with 10 minutes to play.
And they'll change this shape a little bit as well with Dakers and Sam bringing a boatload of speed to the field. Nice to see more Sam getting back to proper health. He had a broken metatarsal in his foot with Nikola Popovic at Ottawa. And then just pulling up lame with a hamstring earlier. Finally back at it. And that's some of the depth for Steve Tritchu on display 10 minutes ago. Not necessarily something that they've had in the past. And you're looking outside of the likes of Todd Wharton, who respectfully is going to play as their defensive holding mid. Everybody else is going to be fully focused on the prize. Of course, I'm just referencing the midfield and see if you can get Parrish G, Cicerone. G's been pretty good on the right side so far. They just haven't really gone after him as much. Still would like to see him in more battles going 1v1 with Christian Duke. I like that matchup.
Wharton. Fink plays it forward for St. Louis. Cicerone did well to turn out of trouble. Trying to find Sam. St. Louis throw. It was a good idea, that flick by Moore Sam, but it's picked off by Sporting KC2. Reshitar, initially first touch pass back, and now it's out of play for a throw on the far side for St. Louis. You can count on Dobbs to perform factory scheduled maintenance, routine and preventative maintenance, and complex diagnostic repairs for your car, light truck, or SUV. Just over 8 minutes to play. If the results hold, Sporting KC2 will have come back to level the point tally with St. Louis at 9 apiece.
Scarier, they'll be halfway to their win total of 2019.
Remarkable.
Gives you an idea of what they're working with right now. Some kind of swag. Gotta keep it going though, still work to be done here.
Ball played in behind with Wapawo making a run for Sporting KC2. Just out of his reach, was a good idea. And St. Louis now with Dakers. Tried to get it to Cicerone. Cicerone tried to return the favor, wins a throw-in. Kadeem Dakers. And he was surrounded by Sporting Kansas City 2 defenders. Kuich in the end came out with it defensively.
Well done. Look at the hold-up play.
What a touch that was.
Beautiful. And then they keep it. Chase. And the technicalities of all these players on full display. Well done.
And Wapawo with a gorgeous pass out wide for Townsend. Reshitar in the middle. They get it to Reshitar. And it's a goal kick. Oh. Thought for a moment, must be our angle, that might have even gone in, but Reshitar, you could see by his reaction that he just missed a massive opportunity to maybe put this game away.
Beautiful build-up. Everything that you ask of, playing around the cones and in the zones when you're on the training ground. Montpremier's got to hold his line on the back post, though. Allows more space in the middle for Reshitar.
Cicerone fights to get across into the penalty area. Greg was not able to get it. G wasn't able to get onto it. Montpremier, a push and a chase, battling for it with Kavita. Kavita does well to get back defensively and win possession. Fink. And Kavita thinks better of it and passes it back to his goalkeeper. Sporting KC2 again. Wapawo. Misplaced pass there. Paris G picks it off for St. Louis. He has Blackwood. Wharton. G onto his left boot. Into the penalty area, and again, pretty comfortably cleared out of there. St. Louis will try again. 5 minutes to play. Less added time to try and find what would be a pretty valuable equalizer. Again over the top, the header from G. Off target. Might have even had more time to bring that down.
Watch this. All the time in the world. Beautifully weighted ball over the top. He has time to bring this down. Take it off the chest and then hit it. A redirect with not that much pace behind the ball to go after Brooks Thompson. Really difficult ask of Paris G. He's a technical enough player. He can bring that down and still get a touch on it without even a whisk of pressure.
And in the meantime, Kave Rod is down for Sporting KC2. Paulo Nagamura looks on. Kave Rod, one of two identical twins on the Sporting KC2 roster. Jahon Rod, his brother, on the bench tonight. And at least the good sign there is able to get up to his feet. And for the moment, walk off under his own power.
Substitution for Sporting Kansas City 2. Leaving the game, number 80, Verdinho Montpremier. Entering the game, number 72, Ryan
Another
Fessler.
signet substitution.
In the 87th minute.
And it is the dynamic Verdinho Montpremier who will make way here. Ryan Fessler will come on for the final few minutes for Sporting Kansas City 2.
Great shift by Montpremier. Grew into this game for sure. Of course, the culmination being his beautiful ball coming out of the back. One of the few that's been pretty efficient in the SKC2 jersey this evening. Up over 90% for his passing accuracy for an attacking player. Really well done.
Here's G again for St. Louis. Couldn't quite find Kyle Gregg. Falls for an opportunity here for Blackwood. Free kick for St. Louis. It's brought back as more sand was brought down. And this is definitely within range. You see Kave Rod back onto the pitch. Here's a look at the last passage of play.
Second one that comes back through. Tyler Blackwood's actually in an offside position when this tackle comes through, but 100% an unnecessary follow through. This has got to be territory that you would love to have the likes of Wall on. Unfortunately, he's already taken his seat for the evening. Todd Wharton can hit him pretty well. Centrally located, opportunity to challenge either side of the goal for the goalkeeper. 5 in the wall. Surprised he hasn't stacked 6. There's a bit of distance to it. Look at Moore Sam, that wondrous left foot. Still think Todd Wharton's got the better angle here. Right-footed. Looks like the referee's got them set up and going.
Could be a big moment here in the match. It's Sam, and it's over the top.
It's the right move here for sure. There's a boatload of space to the goalkeeper's left. Got to get it up and down quick, though. It's one of those gray areas, Sean, where if you're going to make the decision to go here, you have so much space, you don't need as much spin. A bit more pace behind it and go after it.
Quick take back here by St. Louis. Blackwood was on it for a moment and cleared away. Raishatar does well to hold it up. He thought he was brought down. Might have had a case there, not given. Fink for St. Louis. G to Dacres. Can St. Louis save themselves and stay ahead of Sporting Kansas City 2 in Group E? That pass off target, but it falls to Kavita. Dacres sizing it up. Finds G. First time ball in! Greg missed it! What a chance on the doorstep for Kyle Gregg, but he couldn't make contact.
There's still fight left in him, and he has it on the back post. Beautifully whipped in ball. Really like everything that we've seen out of Paris Gishin. Stepping on, does nothing but absolute perfection by putting this right on the platter. Kyle Gregg's got to do better. You've got to get ahead on this ball. That late in the game, tired legs, got to find a way to extend yourself just a bit further.
Stoppage time presented by Paycor. Need more time in your business? Contact Paycor to handle your payroll and human resource needs. 5 minutes added on at the end of the 90. 5 minutes for either Sporting KC2 to pull off yet another road win or for St. Louis to save themselves a point. Throw in for Sporting KC2. They're in no hurry to take it. Raishatar Again, tried to hold it up, couldn't keep it for too long. Wharton to Kavita, Wharton again. Is there one more chance, one more big chance for St. Louis? They've been pushing and pushing for it. Cicerone wins a throw-in on the far side. Dakers comes to help. Dakers goes for it. And the goalkeeper, Brooks Thompson, has it well covered. Rishitar maybe could have done better to control that. Instead, it's all the way back to Burner. Rishitar's pressure forces a quicker clearance. G heads it into the path of Dakers. It does well. It has the referee in front of him, but wins a throw-in on this near side. Tough on the assistant referee on this near side. Couldn't quite get out of the way in time, although Dakers did all he could to keep that in play and wins a throw-in for Paris G to take. St. Louis has created a couple of chances from long throws. Kavita putting the pressure on. It's Sporting KC2 who are able to just about clear this. Although it's back to Kavita. Pressure from Wharton forces Sporting KC2 back, and another throw-in for St. Louis. Just over 2 minutes to play.
Paris G's got this long one in the bag. Line it up a little bit, get a little flick, but you got to get the big bodies in the box to play off of them.
Kavita is in there. It was flicked on by Greg. Dakers took a shot at it. It was blocked. Headed back in by Fisher. Wharton picks it up and is fouled.
Little mistakes, Sean. Little things at the tail end of a game that can make or break you. You're starting to see some of that right now from Sporting Kansas City too. Done all the hard work. Just sum it up with some quality play over the next 90 seconds.
In by Wharton. Blackwood, it could fall here, and the shot over the top again. And St. Louis let another chance go begging. More Sam lined it up, and Coach Trishu can't believe it.
You've got more Sam and Tyler Blackwood, and you wonder if there's a bit of miscommunication right here. You can't hear the shout from the field. Watch the two of them stepping in. Either one of them could have had a go on this. Tyler Blackwood's gonna feel a bit hard done. He gets the touch around the defender as well. Brooks Thompson still right there. And was that the last effort? Is there any magic left for Steve Tritchu's squad?
It's got about 45 seconds for St. Louis to try and find an equalizer. Sporting Kansas City 2 are right on the doorstep of a third straight road victory. Always picked out a play. Yellow card has been shown here. To whom is the question? We'll try to get that for you.
Looks like Remy Pryor to me, their backup
goalkeeper. It might have been one of the substitutes for Sporting KC2, and if it is Remy Pryor, he has been booked. Jake Davis for Sporting KC2. Maybe a slight handball appeal not given. Is there time for St. Louis? More Sam up the field. This could be the last action of the game. Cicerone into the penalty area. Blackwood shoots! Over the top. Did it take a deflection? It did. It's a corner. A corner for St. Louis. Dakers will take it. Surely the last action of the game. Ball in by Dakers. Headed on by the goalkeeper of all people. Chance! Off the post and in! St. Louis find it right at the end. Fanuel Kavita off the post and in, and the captain is the hero for St. Louis. That goal delivered hot and fresh from Domino's.
It's not Danny Barbier in the one to strike. He hit in the 70th minute against Indy 11. But you ask for some magic. It cometh the other way, a John Burner. Your goalkeeper all the way up. You've reached the point in the season, this compacted spotlight. You have to find a way to gather points whenever possible. They throw everything but the kitchen sink, and it falls to their captain, Fanuel Kavita. The tiny touch at the tail end of the match, and the finishing whistle salvages the point. Hats off, my man. That's why you're there.
Fanuel Kavita, right at the death. It was the last kick of the game. He salvages a point for St. Louis, and Sporting KC, 2 hearts broken right at the death. And that goal keeps St. Louis ahead of Sporting KC 2 by 3 points in the standings. Tonight's man of the match is presented by Pleats Cleaners. John Burner hadn't played since 2016 as a starter in the USL Championship. Came up with some huge moments tonight for St. Louis. And Devin, they ended up paying off in the end.
Fantastic performance by John Burner. Not just what he was able to do defensively. Thought there was some quality distribution coming out of the back. And of course, at the tail end of it, you do get that tiny touch. Header in the box, in traffic, and a well-deserved reward.
He's our man of the match, selected by our broadcast crew. Follow St. Louis FC on Twitter to vote in the Pleats Man of the Match poll. We'll take a break and we'll wrap it up after this. St. Louis salvages a point in Missouri.
As funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on your dreams. Wait, and if I didn't think it was worth one try, I'd jump right on a big bird, and then I'd fly.
Sean St. Jacques, Devin Kerr here with you. Edward Jones presents tonight's final score. St. Louis FC 1, Sporting KC 2, 1. What a game, what a finish really to the game. Let's take a look at the stats at the end of this one, Devin. Boy, it was a bit of a hot and cold kind of game at moments. There were some brilliant moments at times where it was end-to-end, then times where the game kind of settled down. In the end, shots galore for both teams. Equal shots on target, equal scoreline as well.
Sporting Kansas City 2 players will look back and think, man, this one got away from us. They had an opportunity to put this away and just could not do it. You let a team like St. Louis FC hang around at home, given the circumstances and the games that they're playing, they're going to find a way. Yeah, it came from their goalkeeper, John Burner, some magnificent saves and a flick off the corner, but sometimes that's what it takes. You know, and if you go back and look at everything that we saw in this match, it started with Sporting Kansas City 2 on the front foot, pushing the tempo, chance after chance after chance. Everything was in an open transition for this team. That's where they're at their best. It culminated in the second half. Starts from Montpellier and the distribution coming out of the back. Wilson Harris gets into 1v1. Not the best of step-overs. He's not always quick-footed, but he's quick-witted. And he knows that if he can't get it done, one of his boys up top will. Look at Mushagaloose on the back post, laying and waiting, tucks it away. Think it's game, set, match, right? He puts him away 1-0. Can they get their second? Can they get their third? They could have done anything, to be honest. Lady Luck just didn't shine bright. Little love for John Burner off the woodwork. He was well out of his ways there. And then a lot of rotation. Substitutes galore from both sides. 5 by each coach trying to find a way to get that breakthrough. Can you get the game winner? Can St. Louis FC and Steve Tritchu find a way to get back into the match? Absolutely. But it wouldn't come until there were a few, we'll say, questionable opportunities that should have been. Paris G, fantastic, coming on as a substitute. Trying to find Kyle Gregg in the midfield, just misses the outstretched head. How about More Sam? More Sam had a few chances, but could not put it away. And then you go all the way till the death of it. John Burner gets the touch. You get it in traffic. Can't be cleared off the line. Why not? Your center back, Fanuel Kavita. He did this in the opening game last year against Indy 11. That would prove to be his only goal of the season when it mattered. And he does it again to garner that very important point at home against Sporting Kansas City 2.
What a finish here in Missouri. The captain, Fanuel Kavita, right at the death, right at the bitter end, saves a point for St. Louis. Well, you want drama? The USL Championship is where you find it. Sporting KC2 thought they had a third straight road win, wrapped up with a bow on top of it, but Fanuel Kavita saves a point for St. Louis and keeps them ahead in second place in Group E. For Devin Kerr and our entire crew, Sean St. Jacques saying so long from Missouri. St. Louis salvages a point at the end.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.